cave. And in section number 5 of the Muhammad Ali translation of the Quran, there is a parable. And that parable reads, "And set forth to them the parable of 2 men. For one of them we made 2 gardens of grapevines, and we surrounded them with date palms, and between them we made cornfields. Both these gardens yielded their fruits, and failed not in anything thereof. And we caused a river to gush forth in their midst, and he had fruit." This is a parable. I want you to think of this picture that God is painting. Set forth a parable of 2 men. And for one of the men, God gave him 2 gardens of grapevines and surrounded those grapevines with date palms, and between the 2 gardens, corn fields. Both these gardens yielded fruit and failed not in anything thereof. And then he caused a river to gush forth in their midst. Now that means that water will certainly make that garden ever and ever abundant and luxurious. But when he got fruit, he said to his companion while he argued with him, "I have greater wealth than you, and I am mightier in followers." Listen to his words. "I have greater wealth than you, and I am mightier in followers." And he went into his garden while he was unjust to himself, and he said, "I think not that this will ever perish. And I think not the hour will come. And even if I am returned to my Lord, I will certainly find a returning place better than this." Now that's really something. But his companion said to him while arguing with him, "Disbelievest thou in him who created thee of dust, then of a small life germ, then he made you a perfect man? But as for me, he, Allah, is my Lord, and I associate nothing with my Lord. And wherefore didst thou not say when you entered your garden, it is as Allah has pleased? There is no power save in Allah. If thou consider me as less than thee in wealth and children, then maybe my Lord will give me better than your garden, and will send on your garden a reckoning from heaven so that it is dust without plant. Or its water will sink down into the ground so that thou art unable to find it." And his fruit was destroyed. So he began to wring his hands for what he had spent on it while it lay waste, its roofs fallen down. And he said, "Ah me, would that I had ascribed no partners to my Lord, and he had no host to help him against Allah, nor could he defend himself. Thus protection is only Allah's, the true one. He is best to reward, and he is best in requiting evil." Yes, sir. That's a parable. so many times in life, you see wicked people seeming to have every advantage. They have more money. They seem to have power to do evil and continue to do it. And those who appear to love God most and seek to be dutiful to God, sometimes they are not able to make their ends meet. And sometimes they wonder to themselves, is God just? Why would he give so much to others and so little to we who seek to serve him? Is a parable. But look at how God tries the hearts of men and women. Are you all right?
Yes, sir.
Because one is given apparent abundance does not necessarily mean one is in the favor of God. And because one is straightened in his ability to sustain himself or herself does not mean you are in disfavor with God. But both circumstances are trials from God to manifest what kind of character we're dealing with here. Here was a man given so much, and he was given so much he began to boast. I am greater in wealth and in followers than you. So what? Does that make you better in the sight of God? Some of you think so. You think that when the place is filled and overflowing and tens of hundreds of thousands of followers, that means you are all right. And someone over here may only have a few. And you say, he's all wrong. What's the proof? Look at the people. As the old song goes, it ain't necessarily so. You got to look beyond the illusion to find the reality. Listen, beloved brothers and sisters. Here's a man that Satan has entered into him. For the more he is given, he begins to feel he's given that because he's special. He's better. So his words, I have greater wealth than you and am mightier in followers, ties in with the statement of Iblis or Satan when Iblis is asked to bow down to this man that God made from dust. He said, what hindered you, God talking to Satan, that you did not bow down? He said, I am better than he is. I am better. Well, when a man says, I have greater wealth than you and I am mightier in followers, he's actually saying, I'm better. And he went into his garden while he was unjust to himself. And he thought that this would never perish. See? But there was an argument going on, and his companion, though God never gave him that kind of garden at all. In fact, it doesn't say that God gave him anything. Because it said that even though there were two men, one man had two gardens. So if there was only two gardens with a cornfield in between and date palms on the outside of the garden, the other man, it doesn't say that he had anything. He had just a few followers. But look at how he argues with his companion who has all of this wealth. He said, disbelievest thou in him who created you from dust, then of a small life germ, and